What's up, y'all? It's your man, Booker T, six-time world champion, two-time Hall of Famer, and I'm here with my main man, Brad Gilmore, on the Hall of Fame podcast. And today we're talking about something that's been a game changer for us, and that's HelloFresh.
That's right, Booker. Whether you're looking to save money, eat better, or stress less in the new year, HelloFresh has got you covered. We're talking about farm-fresh ingredients, chef-crafted recipes, and the best part, it's all delivered right to your doorstep.
You know, Brad, I used to stress about meal planning, especially with my busy schedule. But with HelloFresh, man, I'm whipping up quick, tasty meals in no time. And my favorite has got to be their 15-minute recipes. Man, who knew I could cook a gourmet meal that fast?
Absolutely, Book. But let's talk about variety. HelloFresh has over 45 dinner options each week. So that's right, there's going to be no more recipe boredom. Plus, they've got calorie smart and protein smart options, perfect for keeping those New Year's resolutions in check.
And you know, Brad, as a family man, I'm sitting down for dinner with my crew, and it's important. HelloFresh quick and easy meals have made that reality. Even on the busiest nights, it's just convenient. It's bringing the family together.
And don't forget, breakfast fans, HelloFresh is hooking you up, the listeners of the Hall of Fame podcast, with free breakfast for life. That's right, a free breakfast item with every delivery. Now, that's a sweet deal to wake up to.
Y'all heard it here first. Go to HelloFresh.com/BookerFree and use the code, man, BookerFree, to get your free breakfast for life. Remember, one breakfast item per box while your subscription is active. Oh, yeah, man.
That's HelloFresh.com/BookerFree with the code BookerFree. Don't miss out on America's #1 meal kit.
Join us in making cooking fun, easy, and absolutely delicioso. It's HelloFresh. You got it. Oh, yeah. Can you dig it, sucker?
It's time to get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Can you dig it, sucker? All right, everyone, it's Booker T and Brad Gilmore here, and we've got something exciting for all you sports, comedy, music, and theater fans out there. We're talking about Game Time, the fastest, easiest way to get your hands on tickets to your favorite events.
That's right, Book. We love all those spontaneous, unforgettable moments, and Game Time is here to make them happen. Whether it's a last-minute decision to see a game or a sudden urge to catch a live show, Game Time has got you covered, giving fans access to tickets even at the last minute in over 60 cities across the United States and Canada.
Hey, guys, this ain't about getting in. This is about getting the best seats in the house. With Game Time, you can see images of your seat before you buy it, so no surprises there, guys. You can score tickets swiftly. Skip the line, guys. Just dive straight into the moment.
Absolutely. And listen to this. Game Time guarantees the best prices. Find tickets in the same section in a row for less elsewhere. Game Time will give you a credit of 110% of the difference. So there's no reason to wait, bro.
So whether it's the thrill of the game, the laughter of the comedy, the rhythm of the music, or the drama of the theater, guys, don't let the opportunity skip by. Choose Game Time. Grab your tickets and just enjoy the moment.
Live should be spontaneous, Book. So guys, don't miss out. Check out Game Time now on their app or at gametime.co. That's gametime.co.
Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Just download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code BOOKER for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Lowest price guaranteed. Oh, yes. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code BOOKER at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com. Use promo code BOOKER to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, you know, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, six-time world champ, along with my man Brad Gilmore here inside the Hall of Fame with the 5 minutes of fame. Very, very special guest, the winner of the breakout tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Lola Vice.
There you go, boy.
How you doing?
Hola.
How you doing, Lola?
Hi, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be with the Hall of Famer, and I'm super excited.
Man, you should be excited. You're coming off, the biggest win of your young career. The women's breakout tournament. We've seen what the tournament has done for Roxanne Perez, one of my students.
Yes,
She's
I
definitely,
faced her too.
I said, put the rocket on you. You're about to go straight to the moon. But now you're inside the 5 minutes of fame, and I just want to, go back to when it first started for you, when you was a little bitty girl. What was a young little girl like Lola Vice? What were you doing and what were you thinking?
So my life has never been normal. My father has owned a taekwondo academy in Miami for 35 years. And my mom is a teacher. She was also a dancer. But my dad was also a stunt actor back in the day, so he used to do the fight scenes for the movies. But he always wanted me and my sisters to be martial artists. He basically trained us like men. Like if we
Wow.
were and we had a dream of going to the Olympics. My mom was actually pregnant with me while doing her black belt test, so I was kicking in the womb. This is facts. But also at the same time, my mom wanted me to be feminine and elegant and decide what I wanted for my life. So I was extremely in taekwondo and I was extremely in dance, and I did both at the same time. I remember like being little and having my ballet tights and my leotard under my taekwondo uniform and black belt, and I would go from sparring straight to dance. So I always learned how to do
Wow.
both.
Wow. Amazing.
Well, yeah, and then you transition into being an MMA fighter, and I guess my question is this:
Yes.
for you, MMA, what did it teach you that has helped you in your pro wrestling journey?
Well, so the story is I actually got into MMA when I saw Ronda Rousey do it because Ronda really opens the doors for young female fighters like me to step in. If it weren't for her willpower, I would have never been able to do what I loved then. So I saw Ronda doing it, and my mom was sick at the time. She had cancer, but she survived it. I was like, this is how I'm going to get my family out. So I knew my family trained me intense, unlike any other girl. So I knew I could do it if I put my mind to it. But in that world, I learned you know, to trust my gut and to believe in myself, because at first people saw me very feminine and they didn't think I could actually do it in a cage. So at first it was just proving everyone wrong. And then it was like, wow, I'm proving myself right. And my work ethic matches, my performances. And then also in MMA, I learned how to brand myself and not only show myself as a fighter, but show my personality and what I've been doing my whole life.
Yeah, speaking of life, that combat life, it's a lot of bumps and bruises. A lot of bumps and bruises, and you're a beautiful girl. You're a beautiful
Thank
girl.
you.
What is it like actually after one of those knockdown drag outs to where you are puffed up, where your eye is black and your lip is
Yeah.
swollen, and you wake up that next day. Talk to me about that.
Yep. Well, honestly, the training of MMA was actually more difficult than the actual fight. The cutting weight and the fight camp is intense part. But, I have 25 stitches in this eye. Uh, I
Wow.
have bruises all over my body. I would wear like dresses and try to look pretty and take my pictures, but I was always banged up. I have cauliflower in my ears, and I knew it was like a sacrifice I needed to make to get to where I wanted to be in my life and prove myself that I don't just care about my looks. I truly wanted to be a fighter. But now I could truly be myself and like be my feminine self because MMA was very gory. And I think a lot of people want to say they're fighters, but they've never actually experienced what that is going through eating disorders, going through fight camps, losing 25 pounds in 3 weeks to make a weight, wearing those plastic bags, almost passing out in saunas constantly. I've been doing this since I was 11, 12 years old. And I think all of that made me very strong to endure this swirls that I started with the WWE.
Oh, awesome.
Man, wow. Well, but making the transition into WWE, obviously now you're the breakout star in
I
NXT, and
am.
and the name is Lola Vice, which I think is a great. Booker has always told me since I've known him, you got to have a championship name. If you're gonna be somebody, you got to have a championship name. Lola Vice is already established as a championship name.
You like
What is
it?
the origins of the name itself? Where did that idea come from for Lola Vice?
So Lola, actually, my sister and I, since we were little, we had an inside joke. Like our Cuban nail lady, her name was Lola, and we would always like, "Oh, I'm Lola," and "You're Nina," and we would play around like that. And when it came to the time to like decide my name, I was like, I like Lola because it's Hispanic but easy for everyone to pronounce, and I feel like it goes with me. And then Vice was because inspired by the Miami Vice series back in the 80s. I'm born and raised in Miami. I come from a family of Cuban immigrants, and the Miami Vice colors and the Vice is just who I am at a heart. And I know that if I could really relate to something, I could translate that in the ring, and it's works for me. And I love my name now. I actually prefer it more than Valerie.
Awesome. I listen to In the Air Tonight, and that's when I was first was looking at Miami Vice back in the day, and I remember Crockett saying the Tubbs, this is Miami, pal. Well, you got to know the play. You got to know the players. You got to have a program down here.
Yes.
Another amateur.
Yes. I actually get a lot of
I still
inspiration
know
for
the
that for
quotes from
my
that movie,
promos.
man. It's so freaking stupid, right? You- You're all players, Sonny.
You're all players, Sonny.
I used to love
My
it, man.
dad loves to say that.
Oh man, I remember talking to you one day at the PC, and it was after I spoke about you on the Hall of Fame, and I was talking about how Lola Vice seemed to be like picking this up like crazy. It seemed like she's well advanced, more so than just jumping into the business. It seemed like the intangibles of getting in the ring, and I remember you telling me, I'm going to be the best at this. You know what I mean? And, you know, where did that come from, and what is it going to take for you to be the best in the WWE? And I'm not just talking about at NXT. I'm talking about the main roster. I'm
Yes.
talking about WrestleMania moments. What is it
Mhm.
going to take for Lola Vice to get to that point?
Well, I speak that way because number one, I know my ethic matches my words. And I think a lot of people say I'm going to be the best, but they don't put in the work. And I do that. So I know every time I step in that ring, I'm confident because I'm extremely prepared more than anyone else. But I think a big part of this business is being reliable, being able to perform at all times, being able to adapt. And I think everything that my life has thrown at me, I've been able to overcome it. I actually perform better under pressure, under the big lights, in MMA, my first professional debut, and people don't understand this. I was 20 years old. My professional debut was in the Mohegan Sun Arena, pay per view, no shin guards for the first time in my life, first round knockout. My second fight in MMA was in the Madison Square Garden. So this is something that I know that if I put in the work, as soon as I get there, I'm gonna perform. And here in the WWE is no different. Every time I go in there, I give it 100%. My work ethic, I'm there every single day. I still haven't taken a day off. I haven't taken a vacation. I'm completely committed to this, and I am going to be the best female sports entertainer in the history of the WWE.
Boom! We were just talking about John Cena and all of those qualities that you just mentioned. John Cena, he had all of those qualities, and the one more so
I
than
love John Cena.
me too. The one more so than most, that they got to be able to trust you to be able to get all of that done, and I really feel like you got all the ability to
But I
actually.
do have to earn that though, and I do understand that. Like I'm earning that trust, but I'm willing to do that every single time I'm given an opportunity.
Well, that's what it's all about. Taking those opportunities, and no matter what that opportunity is, go out there and make it the best. I always said, like my brother told me, no matter what the job is, you do the job to the best of your ability, to whatever's next comes along, and that's what I
Hmm.
really, really see with Lola Vice. I'm gonna tell you right now, you definitely about to get the rocket put on you after winning that tournament. You're about to go straight to the moon.
Thank
I always talk about the nebula, baby, all the way out there in the stratosphere, man. And you do
I
bring.
left your tag team, by the way, Harlem Heat.
Hey man, we was like Lola Vice. We used to bring that hot Cholula green and put it
Uh-huh.
on
The
a regular.
spiciness.
Yeah, that spice, man, and put it on a regular basis. But in parting, what do you want to leave the fans with? What do you want to tell the fans about Lola Vice before we let you get up out of the Hall of Fame?
Well, Lola Vice, has been through a lot in her life, but she never backs down. She doesn't fear anyone. She always has a lot of passion. And not only am I representing myself, but I'm representing a whole culture of young Latinas like me that I've opened. I'm actually the first Cuban American woman in history to sign here. So
Wow.
there's so many young girls in Miami. When I go back home, they're like, Lola, Lola. And it just means so much to me that they're all doing my little dances because my mission in this world is to represent women. And you can be beautiful, you can be badass, you can fight in a cage, and anything you put your mind to, you can make it happen if you believe in yourself.
Oh yeah, man. I love it, man. I love it. I really want to thank you for giving me some time and stepping inside the Hall of Fame, getting your 5 minutes of fame. And I can't wait to
Yes.
see the rise of Lola Vice. It's already started, but I'm gonna tell you, I see great things in your future. And again, thank you for stepping inside the Hall of Fame.
Thank you so much. It means a lot to me for having me here, and I'm looking forward to continue working with you and seeing
Awesome.
you Tuesdays, and everything from here on. We're going up.
Oh yeah. Hey guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it. Can you dig it, sucker? All right, everyone, it's Booker T and Brad Gilmore here, and we've got something exciting for all you sports, comedy, music, and theater fans out there. We're talking about Game Time, the fastest, easiest way to get your hands on tickets to your favorite events.
That's right, Book. We love all those spontaneous, unforgettable moments, and Game Time is here to make them happen. Whether it's a last-minute decision to see a game or a sudden urge to catch a live show, Game Time has got you covered, giving fans access to tickets even at the last minute in over 60 cities across the United States and Canada.
Hey guys, this ain't about getting in. This is about getting the best seats in the house. With Game Time, you can see images of your seat before you buy it. So no surprises there, guys. You can score tickets swiftly. Skip the line, guys. Just dive straight into the moment.
Absolutely. And listen to this. Game Time guarantees the best prices. Find tickets in the same section and row for less elsewhere. Game Time will give you a credit of 110% of the difference. So there's no reason to wait, Book.
So whether it's the thrill of the game, the laughter of the comedy, the rhythm of the music, or the drama of the theater, guys, don't let the opportunity skip by. Choose Game Time. Grab your tickets and just enjoy the moment.
Live should be spontaneous, Book. So guys, don't miss out. Check out Game Time now on their app or at gametime.co. That's gametime.co.
Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Just download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code Booker for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Lowest price. Gee, guarantee. Oh, yes. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it. Hey, welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. And guys, it's all about the 5 minutes of fame and stepping inside the 5 minutes of fame. Today, he is none other than just fresh off his debut, giving up Alexis King. What's going on, man? I love the name. I love the name. How you doing?
Thank you for having me, Book. I'm doing great. Just got off a fresh day of training and getting after it. Did some shopping today,
Yeah. It seemed like you just vibing right now, laying back, chilling, kicking back.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that, man. But let's get right into it. Just to give you a little story. I know you as a kid, man, when you lost your dad, just like me. I lost my dad when I was 10 months old, though. I mean, lost my mom at an early age too, so I can relate. I can relate with your story. For me, I got a chance to meet your dad back in the early '90s, back in WCW, and we had a little run in. We bumped heads, and no, seriously, man, we almost got into a little something, something.
That's
The thing is, I've never told that story ever.
That's great. I got to hear it.
And the only reason I'm talking about it now is because I'm talking to you about it. I remember it's crazy. It was at Center Stage in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, yeah.
Peachtree
I
Ave.
was born in Atlanta. So.
Peachtree Ave. You know what I'm talking about. And
Yeah.
we were doing WCW TV Saturday night there, and I went to the bathroom and to the stall, and the stall was locked, of course, right? And I had to wait. Okay, I had to wait, and then when finally the person came out of the stall, it was your dad, Brian Pillman, and I walked past him, and I go into the stall, and needless to say, he left a little surprise for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
That's definitely him.
and I'm like, man, I'm gonna kill this guy. I'm gonna hurt him. You know what I mean? So we definitely got off on the wrong foot right up the bat. But I tell you, man, you getting into this business, it shouldn't feel like a surprise to anyone. My question is, do you feel like you was born to do this?
I think about that a lot, and it's almost like I feel like I never had a choice. I felt like it was always in my blood, for the fact that the day he decided he was going to name me Brian Pillman, I was trapped. It was everywhere I'd go. Go to the grocery. Oh, Brian Pillman. It's a household name in Cincinnati where I grew up, and so I couldn't escape that legacy. I couldn't escape all the reminders of him. And to be fair, he didn't exactly leave me a choice. He left me on this earth without anything. I didn't grow up with all the wealth and all the accolades that he that gained throughout his life. So I had to scratch and claw and find my way through it. I couldn't just go to school and just I did go to school and I did do all those things, but I needed more. He made it so I needed to reclaim all that. You know what I mean? I've never been content with just being average, because I know what the Pillman name used to have, and instead of building on this wealth of his, I didn't inherit any of that. I didn't inherit anything. So now I have to go back out there and reclaim it all. So, and the best way to do that with my genetics and my personality and what I inherited from him indirectly is to be a pro wrestler. You know what I mean? I was never going to succeed at anything else. There was just that bone in my body that, just the hoop person I am only works in this world. I tried to be normal. I got my degree. I did the normal guy job, 9 to 5. And I've just always been a creative, eccentric person. And like I said, if, had he had lived a long life and maybe provided for me, I could have invested or done my own thing. But he kind of left, he basically left the stage for me. You know what I mean? It's like, he gave me the spotlight and said, all right, now it's your turn to go be great and go be somebody, but you got to do it on your own. You know what I mean? So I'm almost more blessed in that sense that now I have something to chase. I have this drive to be better than he was, and had he been around, maybe I wouldn't have had that. Maybe I would have resented the business because I didn't need it. I don't know. It's hard to say. Every second generation wrestler goes through their own trials and tribulations with this business and how it affects them mentally and their development outside of this world. But I didn't have a choice. I didn't have any insurance plan or any backup plan. It was like, here you go, kid. Here you got a name. That's all he gave me. Gave me a name and a legacy.
Hey, you know what? That's a start. That's a start. My name's Booker T,
Yes, sir.
and I'm a junior. I lost my dad when I was young, like I say, 10 months old, and the only thing I had was a photo of my dad to look at, to draw strength from. You know what I
Yes,
mean? I
sir.
never had the stories like you have, with your dad, but I had that one photo that I looked at for strength all the time. But go ahead, Brad. I just want to get that in there.
No, I mean, incredible answer to that question, Alexis. And the thing for me is, growing up a wrestling fan, I would always look forward to the vignettes of the guys. Right, if I go back to Razor Ramon and all his vignettes leading up to the debut, or even you and I aren't too far away in age, Carlito and Chris Masters. I remember those very vividly, and I was excited to see them finally debut. Your vignettes coming into NXT were so awesome, and they were different than any vignette I can remember seeing in the last several years. Where did the idea of that come from? Was that something that you wanted to do, or did they approach you with that idea?
All I could say is it was 100% real. I felt that way for a very long time. It was just a shot in the dark. It was just pure chance that the creative happened to be right on board with that. I came into WWE. I told him my story. I told him my real story, and that I don't have a gimmick. This isn't a character. This is real life. Wrestling has had a real impact on my life, and I said, this is what I need to do. I wanted this. I wanted to become my own man. You know what I mean? It's impossible to be better than, the second coming is never better than the original. You know what I mean? And I was never going to be a better Brian Pillman, and I knew that, and I knew that I needed to more or less disparage his name and create my own, not that I don't have any hatred towards my father. But it would have just been an uphill battle to try to be Brian Pillman 2 or Brian Pillman Jr. I've gone 30 years of my entire life with someone else's name, his name. And to come here and to have this company give me the opportunity to create my own name. I mean, it was a dream come true, and it all just fell together. They didn't even, I mean, they gave me a few things to say, but I mean, there wasn't even really a script involved. They said, tell us your story. And I went on that camera, and everything I said was true and 100% from the heart. And that's how I feel. I didn't know him. You know what I mean? Everybody loved him. I mean, I don't hate him. He was a great, great man. I inherited a lot of positive traits from him. But I don't owe him anything to use his name any further. He made his name, and now it's time for me to make mine. I'm never going to outshine him in what he did, especially the way that he passed. You know what I mean? It's like you think about guys like Tupac, these great artists that when they die at their peak, they're immortalized at that peak. You know what I mean? There's no outdoing that. You know what I mean? They're revered, and he was revered for what he did. And I felt like it's sooner or later, I thought about starting out that way. I thought about starting my career as a new person. My first indie match, I was Alex King. It was like straight up, like almost the exact same name.
Yeah.
So to come in here and be given the creative go, like you pick your name, you know what I mean? Like they didn't even go back and forth with me. They said, we want you to be you. I said, look, this was my older sister's first name. I actually knew her. She would pick me up, take me to freaking Dairy Queen. She was an indie wrestler too and a performer. She was a dancer. And then my little sister Skylar, who I went through all the trouble and all the hard times with. She eventually got adopted by her grandma. So to come in with a real raw story that I don't have to fake it. I don't have to read from a script. This is who I am. And no one else has that on me. This business has had if you watch Dark Side of the Ring, this business has had a severe impact on my life. And despite all that, I'm stronger than ever. And I got here because of this business, because of the great impact that it has had. So while it might have put me, back a few steps in my childhood, here I am now thriving, traveling the world. And I finally made it here to the biggest stage of them all. The WWE. I think I deserve a shot 100% on everything I've been through, inside this career and outside of it. So it's a fresh start for Lexus King.
I like the direction. I really do. I mean, so many have taken that route, like the Charlotte Flares, the Cody Rhodes. I remember even going back in the day, like, Eric Watts, everybody, I mean, going back to they even created a Von Erich, just
We need another one.
no, yeah.
We got to I'm sure there was a few like kind of just worked like gimmick Von Erichs back then.
Yeah, heck yeah. That's what
100%.
Like, hey, you're gonna be a Von Erich.
That's what I'm saying. And for you to totally not ride on that Pillman name, that says a whole lot about you. The King origin. Talk to me about that, and what does it feel to you when you do hear your name announced, Lexus King? What's the feeling that go through you?
Well, there's a lot of emotion behind that last name. So that was my stepfather's last name, and he came into the picture. I mean, pretty much as soon as my father passed. I mean, my mom needed to be with somebody to help keep the lights on. So I mean, she was already 1 foot out the door, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
Before he passed, you know what I mean? Because everything that was going on and the business and things. But so she was looking for some stability, and she met a guy with the last name King, and he came from a great family, but he wasn't great to me, So he was, an abusive, piece of work, and he put me through some shit. And it made me stronger. And in a way, it's like, you know what? This man robbed my childhood. I'm going to rob his name. I'm going to take his name because that's a freaking cool name. And I'm going to make it mean something positive, because as much as he was a piece of garbage to me, I'm not doing this to bring him any glory or fame. I'm doing this for me, like I'm going to take that name and make it something, because in a way he had much more influence on my life than my own father did,
Yeah.
I was 4 years old, and I lived under this man's roof till I was about 13. I packed up my bags in a black trash bag and moved out on my own when I was 13. So this man berated me, neglected me, abused me for about 8-9 years. So I am a king. I called him dad. I mean, there was a part of my life where I looked up to this stepfather as my father. So. He never officially, adopted me and gave me his name, but I have every right to use that name because, that what I went through made me who I am today. So I'm more a king than I am a Pillman, if we're quite honest.
That's powerful.
As much negativity and stuff that name carries in my life, it's who I am. And if that means that when I step in the ring with you, that I'm going to be a vile piece of shit and just beat the crap out of you, then that's what it's going to be, Because all that's been built up and that's been given out to me. I've taken a beating. I've taken a whooping. You know what I mean? I've been thrown down a flight of stairs by a grown man. You know what I mean? Like nothing can stop me on this journey to take what I want from NXT. And it's already started. So you guys have seen it. I made my debut. I made a statement, and this is who I am. I'm Lexus King. So people better get used to the name. People want to talk crap about the name, but they're gonna be chanting it before long. So
I love it.
Get used to it. Yeah.
Hell of a motivating factor. I'll tell you that, Brett.
Yeah, you talk about everything everything that happened in your life and your journey to get to the WWE, to get to the big stage. You know, you were somewhere else before, but I guess my question is, in your pro wrestling journey, to have that ability to work television and work the television style and understand that, how paramount was that for you to prepare you to get to where you are now?
I think everything has prepared me to where I'm at now. You know, I could have went down a really bad road. There was many intersections that I got to, not just in my childhood and my young adult life, but even in the wrestling world, there was some temptations and some paths I could have gone down. You know what I mean? I could have just been, another story, another headline. You know, a guy that went down the wrong road. But no, I think everything's prepared me to be here. I'm glad I waited till I was of age. I had an opportunity when I was about 23, 24 to come here and train, and it just didn't feel right. It felt too soon. It felt, they always say, you should despise a free lunch, and I felt like getting a shot that soon while I was still green. I didn't really appreciate or respect the business enough to be here. I was still resentful towards it, and I just wanted to get out there and do some indies and see if eventually it would click. And I did. I fell in love with it, and it clicked, and I traveled, and I got on with MLW. My trainer, Lance Storm, recommended. He said, you got nothing to lose, to go with this small sort of TV production. Got experience doing TV style stuff with them. It was great, Got in with the Davey Boy Jr., so I got a little connection with the Hart family. That was really cool to get me started. And then did some stuff with OVW, which we know is like the original developmental, Randy and Cena and those guys, they came from OVW. So that was a good little session of TV reps. And then ultimately AEW was my biggest shot before here. Got to work with some great guys, Danielson, Moxley. We had Jerry Lynn backstage, just a lot of great people, Billy Gunn. So a lot of these guys that have, built the past 20, 30 years of pro wrestling have kind of helped me along the way. So I'm definitely not on my own in that. My father definitely left a few angels behind to sort of guide me in the right direction. But I think now, at the maturity level I'm at now, all those mistakes are in the past.
Corbin Dallas.
I don't have to rely on that Pillman name anymore. I'm here. I'm ready to be here, and I'm ready to be Lexus King.
Brad, have you learned after all this time to put your phone on mute? I mean, come on. How many times we got to talk about this?
That's called a receipt.
It's
I appreciate it,
a receipt.
I
You know what's
appreciate it.
funny? It's like most people I know these days, they just always no one likes to hear a ringtone.
I'm serious.
I don't want to hear it. I'll check my phone and see I have a missed call and call that person back. But I don't. My phone's always on silent from dusk till dawn.
Yeah, that's
Never-
what
it's
receipt
never on
Book just gave me.
Yeah, it was a receipt. I always have mine home during the show, and it goes out. But
The one time.
yeah, you mentioned the name there. A big shout out to Lance Storm. I had a little run in with Lance Storm back in WCW when he won all the titles, and then he had to face the world heavyweight champion, which was I at that time.
Yeah.
I beat the hell out of him.
Lance was great. Lance really got me ready. He told a lot of stories and talked about the respect and the politics of the business. He spent a lot of time talking to us about the manners of it all and just how to get by and how to not get
one of my
buried and all that.
One of my biggest rules, for the young guys, Brad, is he's heard me say it many, many times. You got to know how to make it in the locker room before you have a chance at making it in the ring. And it's just it's a protocol. It's not kissing ass or anything like that, because that's something that I've never did once. But knowing how to work my way through the system has definitely been beneficial for me. I remember when I was coming up, young like yourself, and one of the guys came up to me and said, "Book, you're going to be the world heavyweight champion one day." And I go, "Man, get out of here, man. That's not going to happen. I just want to be the best worker." But I did have aspirations at working at the top level, working with the top guys. And I found myself in the main event against Triple H at WrestleMania. And, man, it's a night that I'll never forget. And my question is, do you see yourself headlining WrestleMania one day?
I'm not one of those, everybody's like, oh, it's my dream. Everybody has like their WrestleMania moment dream. I wouldn't say I'm one of those people that is like, I'm just, oh my God, I just have to be there. I just think it's inevitable. I think it's destiny. I think if I keep going on this path I'm on, this trajectory I'm on, it's bound to happen. That moment is bound to be mine. And right now it starts, one foot in front of the other. Right now it starts with NXT, and it starts with becoming the biggest threat and becoming the king of NXT. But, once I get to that main roster, yeah, I mean, everybody looks forward to that WrestleMania moment. But I'm not going to sit here and say I lose sleep every night over it, because I know it's going to happen. I know that everything in my life has happened for a reason. And I didn't suffer. I didn't go through all that suffering. I didn't go through all the bumps and all the bruises and all the injuries and all my life and my childhood and everything it's brought me to here. To me, WrestleMania is inevitable. It has to happen. Nobody has the story that I have. Nobody's faced the adversity I have. And guess what? And if it didn't happen, and if I never made it to WrestleMania, I would be 100% fine with that, because after everything I've been through, I could be sleeping on a floor right now. You know what I mean? In a crack house. You know what I mean? But here I am at NXT, coming in, having a great debut, looking great, in the best shape of my life, having already made a good living in wrestling, and just kind of going further with it. You know what I mean? Like the order of operations has been on par here. From one place to the next, I've constantly moved up in this business. So to me, it's inevitable that I'll be at WrestleMania. Whether I'm the main event or not, I don't know. I'm gonna play my part. I'm gonna run the play that the coaches want me to run, and I'm gonna be the best version of Lexis King that they're ever gonna see.
I tell you, you gave me the perfect answer. All right, you gave me the perfect answer, and the reason the reason I say that is because I ask students sometimes, when they come to reality of wrestling, and they get on the show and they start doing pretty good, and then I bring them in my office and I say, "What's your goals? What's your aspirations?" And the right answer is always, the wrong answer is always to be the WWE champion. The right answer is always, man, I want to be the best reality of wrestling champion I could possibly be.
Yeah.
And you started at NXT.
Yeah.
You said, I want to conquer this. I want to be the king here before I move on. And that right there, man, is the perfect way to think. Never get too far ahead of yourself. Always think about the now. The future is going to happen for you, but thinking about the now is the only way you can really roll through this thing and really keep it in perspective. So I tell you, man, I wish for nothing but the best for Lexis King. I see you having a bright future. The fans might need to order their sunglasses now. You know what I mean? Because I think the rocket is going to be put on you, and you're going to go straight to the moon. Just because I feel like you're grounded, I feel like you have the right idea what this thing's all about, as well as if you ever need anything from me, I'm just a phone call away, and I'm always going to be here to help you. Any parting words for your fans?
And just stay tuned. You heard me on Tuesday. I've already had an impact. There's some things that are going to come, and there's some things I might have already done that you haven't seen that have happened backstage. But you just never know. This character and this person, it's a brand new identity for me. It's a chance to step outside my father's shadow and finally show everybody what I'm all about. And that's very exciting for me. It's very exciting for the fans. And I think it's going to be very exciting for WWE. I think everybody's excited to see what Lexis King does next.
Booyah!
So stay tuned.
The 5 minutes of fame, guys. Want to thank Lexis King for stepping inside just for a minute to give us a little champagne wishes and caviar dreams, man. But stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it.
And joining us right now, the CW39 Spotlight to talk about the road to WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble, which is going to be going down at Tropicana Field this Saturday, streaming on Peacock. He is the phenomenal one, the former WWE champion himself, AJ Styles. AJ, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Hey, you know what? This show, the Royal Rumble, is my favorite event on the WWE calendar year. It's a significant event for you as well, is where you made your debut a few years ago, or 8 years ago, I guess now, but you're going to be main eventing Fatal 4-Way for the Universal Championship. It's going down you, LA Knight, Randy Orton, and the head of the table, Roman Reigns. What are your feelings going into this match?
Well, I listened. I think we got to count the first year that I was in WWE, so I believe that makes it 9. Am I right on that?
16, whatever it was. I'm not good at math. That's why I do this.
It doesn't matter because it's not important. What is important is the WWE Championship, and I want it back. I haven't had it in a while. It's time for Roman Reigns to let loose of the championship and let someone like AJ Styles grab it and run with it. So. But it's just not. It's going to be a hard fought battle because you got two other guys that want it just as bad as I do with Randy Orton and LA Knight. So we'll see what happens.
Randy came back a couple of months ago in November at the Survivor Series. You came back shortly thereafter after a little hiatus. Both of y'all in the best shape, perhaps ever. If you look at the fans, commentary on everything, including what my eyes see, you're in great shape. What was the change that you did in that little hiatus you had?
Well, I mean, it was one of those things where I just needed to focus on myself and took responsibility with watching my diet, doing a cold plunge, which has changed my life, and also getting in the sauna, all that stuff. So I have to dedicate 2 hours of, to work out to my schedule every day. So it's little things like that. If you want to be better, you got to do better things for your body. And that's what I'm trying to do. And listen, I really believe it was perfect pictures that you saw taken at the perfect time. I don't think I grew that much or lost that much weight. It was just a great picture.
Looking real jacked, man. Looking real jacked. But, it's a lot about recovery, I think, in this point of your career. You've been wrestling for a very long time. And, anybody who knows the schedule of a professional wrestler, it's go, go, go. It's fast, fast, fast all the time. And recovery is probably as big at this point in your career as it's ever been.
Yeah. And that's a big reason why the cold plunge has changed my life. Just jumping in that bad boy every day that I'm home. It's not something I want to do. It's something that I need to do. So I get in it every day, and this literally changed my life. It's about, maintenance as well, just making sure that I stay, in a state of being able to go anytime, any place, anywhere. And doing these little things are what makes me able to be able to do that.
And now, when you talk about the Royal Rumble, again, this is my favorite show of the year. I mean, WrestleMania is the spectacle. It's it's the granddaddy of them all, whatever, adjectives you want to use. But the Royal Rumble is always fun. You never know what's going to happen. That's what kind of brings me back to the first time AJ Styles was on WWE television. There was rumors on the internet, as there always was, but those seconds right before you walked out, I'm sure that you recall them. And do you remember exactly what was going on in your mind before you made that first debut on WWE TV all those years ago?
I'll never forget it. It was like, man, I hope people remember me. That was the biggest thing. I was, I believe, 37 when I walked out, 37 years old, and worried that I'm not going to get a pop at all. So it was a pleasant surprise to get a fan reaction the way that I did at the Royal Rumble.
Was the Rumble one of those matches that, I mean, even in your time outside of WWE or when you've been in it here for the last several years that you have been, is it a match that you kind of look forward to because, you know, you don't know who you could potentially be mixing it up with? I mean, last year, I know Booker T made his, return after several years at the San Antonio Alamo Dome. Is that kind of one of the majesties of the Royal Rumble?
Well, that's the fun thing about the Royal Rumble is you actually don't know who's going to show up. Rumors are rumors until they show up, right? And we do know a couple of guys that are going to be in there, which is exciting, but we don't know what's going to happen, and we don't know who's going to be in there with those guys. So that always makes it fun.
Now, I recall being at a Royal Rumble at the Alamo Dome a few years back when you and John Cena mixed it up for the WWE Championship. And I remember watching that in the crowd thinking it was only January, but we already have a match of the year candidate. John announced recently that he's looking to wrap things up in the next few years. You have great chemistry with him. You also have some experience handling a Legends last match. Is that something that you would like to do, is mix it up with Cena one last time before he rides it off into the sunset?
I think there's a lot of us that would like to mix it up with Cena one last time, and I'm definitely one of those guys. We had some chemistry that I can't explain to, two guys who are, maybe it's opposites attract, I guess you would say. And me and John are definitely that kind of, dance partners where, it was always fun getting in the ring with him. It was always big. It was always special. And it was always great. So I look forward to hopefully before he retires, jumping in the ring with him one more time.
What do you think it is about him that made him stand out? Because, I mean, people on the internet want to talk about he has the 5 moves of doom or whatever the case was. But I think people who know how great he is in and out of the ring. But for you, from your perspective, what makes him one of the greats of all time?
He's smart. He's probably one of the smartest guys to ever be in the ring. I don't know what his IQ is, but I would venture to say it's very close to being a genius. He's just smart, quick-witted, and knows how to get things done, listens to the crowd. He's one of the best I've ever been in the ring with. And I'm not saying that he's one of the best wrestlers, but he knows how to entertain a crowd better than anyone I've ever been with. So there's a lot of great things about John, but to me, that's what sticks out the most is his ability to adjust and perform as the crowd sees what they need. You got to hear them and listen to them, and he does that better than anybody.
Before you came into the WWE, you were regarded as one of the great wrestlers in the world, and you continue to hold that title to this day. But what are the things that you learned coming into the WWE that you didn't have in your arsenal before? I ask you that because when I talk to Booker T all the time, when we do our show together, he always mentions, I was a great professional wrestler in WCW. When I came to WWE, I became a great sports entertainer. What are the differences that perhaps you picked up on when you came into the WWE?
I've always heard, if you think you're going too fast, slow down. And, if you think you're going too slow, slow down, right? And that's the biggest thing is slow down, literally from the entrance to the wrestling and letting fans digest what you're doing. It's taking it all in so that you can be a better performer. Again, it's listening to the crowd and knowing what that need at that particular time. Well, that will make you a great entertainer. You can be a great wrestler, like Booker said, but until you're a great entertainer, you don't really hit that peak that you want. So I guess that's one of the biggest things, that is just slow down, take it all in, and give the fans what they want.
And you're going to give the fans what they want, I'm sure, this Saturday at the Royal Rumble Fatal 4-Way Undisputed WWE Universal Championship. You talked about Roman Reigns. Randy Orton's career is for himself. LA Knight is somebody who's really come around in the last year, even though he's been doing it for a long time. For you, what do you think the appeal is of a LA Knight? Do you think it was right place, right time for him to really have the crowd get behind him?
I think that it definitely is the right place at the right time, saying the right thing that they can go along with. And yeah, is such a simple thing to come up with that he does perfectly and gets people going with him. I mean, it's time. It was time. He's worked hard his whole career, and why not make this one his biggest and best? And perseverance. I think with LA Knight, it's really showed here because it took him a while, and I know exactly how that feels to get where he wanted to be and do what he wants to do, and he's definitely doing it.
We've talked about how you're widely regarded as one of the greatest of all time, in the ring. And it's not just something that the fans say, it's something that your peers share as well. Stone Cold Steve Austin said you're the best wrestler on 2 feet. The Undertaker said you're probably the best in the business. And Paul Heyman said he is everything that Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, and Ric Flair to their generation, but he's updated it. How does it feel to hear that kind of praise from legends in this industry?
Oh, wow. It makes you feel like all this work, all these years that you've put into the business has paid off. For someone to respect and say those things that, you've done and who you are, it means a lot. It really does, because that's who you're really trying to impress. That's the guys that I would love for them to say something, and they have. So I feel like I've accomplished something. Like it's never going to be good enough for me, but the fact that they had those kind of words to say, it takes the cake.
Now, again, we're on the road to WrestleMania. It's a show that you've gotten to perform on several times, getting to wrestle at several times with top names, including The Undertaker. Do you ever sit back and go, wow, I can't believe that I had The Undertaker's last match and it was at WrestleMania? Is that something you still think about?
Every now and then, because we're friends to this day, but every now and then I go, wow, as I look back, that was a really cool moment that we had. And I was able to have his last match. Nobody else can say that, just me. So that's a big deal.
With Royal Rumble is going down this weekend, Saturday on Peacock. AJ Styles in the Fatal 4-Ways, walking out with the title. AJ, I just really appreciate you taking the time with us this morning. You are phenomenal. You are one of the greatest to ever do it. I can't wait to see that championship back around your waist at the conclusion of Saturday night.
Hey, you never know what's going to happen, but I'm not saying bet on it. I'm just saying.
AJ Styles, everybody. Thank you so much, man.
All right, man.